over the past few weeks, my wife and I, with our 16-year-old and 19-year-old, we've had some parenting issues come up. Uh, and I put some boundaries in place with my wife, and she's agreed to them. And she's actually overstepped them like 2 or 3 times. And so finally this week, I had to say, and without getting into a lot of details, I had a 19-year-old daughter. She's moved out. And there was things that I said, like, Katie, here's what I don't want to do. And here's what I do want to do. I got her agreement. And one of the boundaries was we weren't going to like contribute money to certain things. I want my daughter to be responsible. And last week she called, and almost immediately that boundary was violated. And so after that happened a few times, I sat down with my wife in our daily ceremony where I provide containment, and I let her express what was going on. And then I said, Katie, we need to acknowledge that the boundaries that I laid out and you agreed to have been violated 3 times. And I know you're doing it because you love our kids. I know you're doing it because it's scary. I know you're doing it because there's a lot going on. But I think this is one of those places where you need to get some support. And I'd really like you to reach out to EMDR therapists today and find somebody that you can work with. She already had somebody, but the EMDR therapist she was working with specialized in sexual abuse and sexual issues. And I think in this, she needs like internal family system or with EMDR or somebody who understands families in EMDR. And because I was able to do this in a place not where we were in conflict, not where we were in rupture, I did it in a quiet space. I explained myself clearly, and she looked at me and said, absolutely. And this is her work, guys. There was just a question about, if I do all my work and she still feels unsafe, we do. Well, that reveals the work. See, containment in us reveals the work that our wife can benefit from. And guys, it's not just our wife benefits. Like this is one example of many that this stuff has come up, and I've like held containment and pointed out to my wife that she needs to process. And there's definitely been times where she's pointed out that I need to process. And so it goes both ways. But when she does the work, when something like this is coming up and she releases that energy, is so amazing what it does to the relationship. So remember, as men, we go first. But that doesn't mean she doesn't go second and maybe go repeatedly and go often.